नहमदुहु व नुसल्ली अला रसूलिहिल करीम अम्मा बाद फ़अऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम. Today's topic of discussion is trichomoniasis. We'll try to look at a comprehensive overview and a review. It's basically a common sexually transmitted infection which is caused by a single-celled parasite called Trichomonas vaginalis. This presentation provides a comprehensive understanding of trichomoniasis, encompassing its causes, symptoms, diagnosis, treatment, and preventive strategies. I am going to present the same topic under the kind supervision of Professor Dr. Sara Afzal, who is our Dean at KEMU and IPH. I am myself Dr. Fatma Jalal Chaudhary, and I am MPhil scholar with you here. The layout for today's presentation is we'll try to focus on trichomoniasis, its epidemiological trends, the mode of transmission, its complications, available treatment options, the recent most updates, and an MCQ session and open forum discussion. Objectives to be achieved are at the end of the presentation, the participants at least be able to recognize trichomoniasis trends and analysis, its epidemiological factors, treatment options, and be familiar with its prevention at various stages. Now, what is trichomoniasis? Trichomoniasis is a sexually transmitted infection or an STI which is caused by parasite Trichomonas vaginalis. The parasite thrives in moist environments and typically affects the reproductive organs. It is generally transmitted through sexual contact, though it can also be transmitted or can be spread through contaminated objects. Trichomonas vaginalis is a flagellated protozoan parasite. This means that it is a single-celled organism with whip-like trails that enables it to move. It can live for several days outside the body in a moist environment. Trichomoniasis is one of the most common STIs in the world. It affects millions of people globally. It is often asymptomatic, meaning that individuals suffering from it may not experience any symptoms, or in these cases, it is spread unknowingly. This is an important document which is presented by WHO regarding the facts and the figures available with us. Trichomonas vaginalis is the most common non-viral STI. There were an estimated 156 million new cases of Trichomonas vaginalis infection among people which were aged between 15 to 49 years old in 2020 globally, and in 2020 out of these total individuals, 73.7 million were females and 82.6 million were males. Now, the recent most update as yielded by WHO as latest as 25 November 2024, key facts are trichomoniasis is a common sexually transmitted infection among the women of reproductive age. It is caused by the protozoan Trichomonas vaginalis. It is treatable and curable. In 2020, there were approximately 156 million new cases of Trichomonas vaginalis infection among people aged 15 to 49 years old. In female, trichomoniasis is a common cause of vaginal discharge and is associated with its outcome and increased risk of pelvic inflammatory diseases throughout the world. Now, as per WHO, Trichomonas vaginalis or trichomoniasis is treatable and curable. It is best treated with the antibiotics, which are commonly metronidazole or tinidazole. Although the resistance is uncommon, treatment failure occurs in a small proportion of cases. Several second-line regimes are available and should be initiated by healthcare professionals whenever one feels like. Women who present with vaginal discharge and who are managed based on the syndromic approach are treated for bacterial vaginosis, candidiasis, and trichomoniasis simultaneously. Metronidazole is indicated for both bacterial vaginosis and trichomoniasis, while topical or oral antifungals are indicated for candidiasis. Now, trichomoniasis as a global and local perspective. Trichomoniasis is a common sexually transmitted infection, is a significant public health concern globally, particularly in Pakistan. This presentation explores the global and local prevalence, trends, risk factors, and strategies for prevention and control of trichomoniasis. Now, prevalence of trichomoniasis worldwide, global estimates suggest that approximately 275 million people worldwide are infected with trichomoniasis. This STI is highly prevalent in low and middle income countries, particularly in sub-Saharan Africa and Latin America. Age groups affected, the infection is more common in young adults, with a peak prevalence rates observed between 18 and 24 years. This highlights the importance of targeted STI prevention programs for this demographic variable. Now, trichomoniasis prevalence in Pakistan. Prevalence rates. Studies in Pakistan have reported high rates of trichomoniasis prevalence, particularly in urban areas and among individuals having multiple sexual partners. Now, what are the regional trends? Mostly incidence of trichomoniasis can vary significantly across different regions of Pakistan, with some areas experiencing higher rates of infection compared to others, in which there are practices of unsafe sexual habits are observed. Now, what is the epidemiological triad of trichomoniasis? Host factors which are involved, basically age, as have been discussed earlier, 15 to 49 years. Gender, as we have seen in the trends, that males are affected less, but females are at a higher prevalence. Sexual behavior, unsafe sexual practices, multiple sexual partners, and pre existing infections can lead to higher rates of trichomoniasis. Immune status, like in immunocompromised people, there is high concerns for trichomoniasis and vice versa, as in if a female is suffering from trichomoniasis, she is liable to have a more risk of developing HIV/AIDS. Age and factors. Trichomonas vaginalis is a parasite, as we have discussed earlier. It's a non-viral thing. Environmental factors, socioeconomic conditions, low socioeconomic conditions, access to healthcare where the healthcare facilities are not available or are costly, and cultural norms where it is considered a stigma to either use a condom or to be discussing the things with the partners. Now, global incidence trends and data visualization. Data availability. Reliable data on trichomoniasis incidence are often limited, making it challenging to accurately track the global trends. Data visualization tools can be used to effectively communicate the complex trends and patterns in trichomoniasis incidence, as like in the populations which have lesser access towards the metronidazole or tinidazole or bacterial vaginosis ongoing, or if there is any of the sexually transmitted disease always prevalent, so that people could be tracked there. Public health efforts. Accurate data is crucial for informing public health efforts aimed at preventing and controlling trichomoniasis. It will not only target the specific population involved, but it also would yield the high accurate results for the concerned safe sexual practices or the vaccination if possible. Trichomoniasis burden in Pakistan. What are the statistics and trends so far? Prevalence rates. Pakistan faces a significant burden of trichomoniasis. Trend analysis. Understanding the trends in trichomoniasis prevalence can inform on the targeted interventions and resource allocation, as we have discussed earlier. It would also be paving a way for having being encountered with the family planning practices, so that the newborns which are being met with the trichomonia positive females are to be saved before developing the trichomoniasis. Data collection, continued monitoring, and robust data collection systems are essential for accurate assessment of the trichomoniasis burden. Now, what are the risk factors and transmission dynamics? Number one, as we have seen previously, unprotected sex. Having sex without a condom significantly increases the risk of trichomoniasis transmission. Multiple sexual partners have a higher likelihood of acquiring and transmitting trichomoniasis. Low socioeconomic status like poverty, limited access to healthcare, and inadequate sanitation could contribute to higher trichomoniasis prevalence. We would look in the upcoming slides as well that in a female who is suffering from trichomoniasis, there is thinning of vaginal wall and other sexual areas in the reproductive tract, which leads to higher vascularization and increased risk of developing HIV, or if there is a previous contact, or if that was even being protected previously. So if a female who is having trichomoniasis at present is at a higher risk of developing other STIs as well. Now, what are the causes and transmission? The sole cause of trichomoniasis is infection with the parasite Trichomonas vaginalis. It is primarily transmitted through sexual contact with an infected individual. The parasite can be present in vaginal secretions, semen, or urine. How does transmission occur? It can occur during sexual activity, including vaginal, anal, or oral sex. Though less common, transmission can also happen via sharing the contaminated objects like towels or wet clothing. What are the symptoms and signs? Many people with trichomoniasis don't experience any symptoms. However, many of the individuals may develop symptoms which can vary depending on the affected area and the individual's immune system. Most men experience no symptoms, though some may experience itching or burning sensations. Women may experience vaginal discharge, which can be frothy, yellow, green, or gray. It could be fishy or foul smelling as well. Other symptoms include itching, burning, and pain during urination or intercourse. So, what is the diagnosis and testing? Diagnosis is typically made through a simple swab test, which is taken from the vagina in women or a urethra in men. The collected sample is then analyzed under a microscope or through a laboratory test to identify the presence of the parasite. Now, how could that be carried out? It could be examined under the microscope, which involves examining the swab sample to look for the presence of the parasite solely. Lab testing involves sending the swab sample to a laboratory for more sophisticated testing, such as nucleic acid amplification test, NATS, which is mostly the available option right now, along with the diamond culture. Now, what is the treatment and management strategy for trichomoniasis? Trichomoniasis is readily treatable with antibiotics, as being discussed previously. The recommended treatment is usually a single dose of metronidazole or tinidazole. It's crucial to complete the full course of medication even if symptoms disappear, and to follow it further. To prevent recurrence and ensure complete eradication of the infection, number one, it is essential for the infected person and their sexual partners to be treated simultaneously to avoid reinfection. Number two, during treatment, it is advisable to abstain from sexual intercourse or use condoms to prevent spreading the infection to others. Number three, follow-up testing is recommended after treatment to ensure the infection has been fully cleared and to identify any bacterial reinfections. Now, what are the prevention strategies available with us? The most effective way to prevent trichomoniasis is to practice safe sex, including consistent condom use. Other preventative measures include limiting the number of sexual partners and getting regular STI screenings. For this, following strategies could be adapted. Number one, practice safe sex. Condoms effectively prevent the transmission of trichomoniasis during sexual activity, but as previously being discussed that during the course of treatment it should be avoided. Number 2, reduce sexual partners. Limiting the number of sexual partners lowers the risk of exposure to STIs. Number 3, get regular STI screenings. Regular testing allows for early detection and prompt treatment, preventing the source of infection. What are the complications and comorbidities associated with trichomoniasis? While trichomoniasis itself is typically not life-threatening, untreated infections can lead to complications, particularly in females or the women. Number 1, pelvic inflammatory disease, commonly known to us as PID. So pelvic inflammatory diseases are basically a kind of disease which can affect any of the pelvic organs, starting from the urethra up till the ovaries or the uterus. The further complications would result in the scarring and infertility as well. Now, what is further complication? It's an ectopic pregnancy, which can result due to the ongoing scarring, recent or developed. There could be infertility being experienced due to pelvic inflammatory disease or ongoing scarring. There would be increased risk of HIV transmission, as discussed earlier. Trichomoniasis and sexual health. Trichomoniasis is an important topic to discuss with sexual partners and healthcare providers. Open communication about sexual health is essential for prevention, early diagnosis, and effective treatment. Number 1, talk to your partner. Number 2, get tested regularly. Number 3, seek treatment promptly. Number 4, practice safe sex. Strategies for prevention and control. Number 1, education. Raising awareness about trichomoniasis and promoting safe sexual practices is crucial. Number 2 is screening. Regular STI screening is essential for early detection and treatment. Number 3 is treatment. Prompt and effective treatment of the infection can prevent further transmission. Number 4, encouraging the access or ensuring for the affordable and accessible STI services for all population is vital. What is the conclusion and key takeaways? Trichomoniasis is a prevalent STI that can be effectively treated and prevented. Early detection and treatment are crucial for preventing complications. By taking proactive steps to protect your sexual health, you can minimize the risk of contracting and transmitting this infection by number 1, practicing safe sex. Condom use is critical. Number 2, get tested. Regular STI screenings are essential. Number 3, seek treatment. Complete full course of antibiotics as prescribed by the physician. Now it's time for the recent updates. This is basically a chapter from a book which is being authored by an American author. It was last updated on June 12, 2023. It's a continuing education activity about Trichomonas vaginalis is a protozoan responsible for trichomoniasis, one of the most prevalent non-viral sexually transmitted infections in the United States. Women with trichomoniasis will often present with vaginal discharge, painful intercourse, urinary tract infection symptoms, vaginal itching, or pelvic pain. Men may be asymptomatic, or on occasion they may present with symptoms including dysuria and cloudy urine. This activity reviews the evaluation and management of trichomoniasis and highlights the role of interprofessional activities in preventing to provide well coordinated care and enhance outcomes for affected patients. Now, what is the etiology? As per this chapter, trichomoniasis is an infection that is sexually transmitted and is acquired by direct sexual contact. It can live for a few hours in moist environments. It virtually in all cases are due to the venereal transmission of organism. Risk factors include history of STIs, new sex partner or multiple partners, contact with an infected partner, abusing IV drugs, not using any type of barrier contraception. Treatment or management. According to the 2021 CDC STI treatment guidelines, a 7-day course of 500 mg metronidazole twice daily is indicated. It is being practiced world over as well. In patients with known HIV infection, the recommended treatment regime is a 7-day course of 500 mg metronidazole twice daily. According to a study, the percentage of women positive for trichomoniasis on their test for cure was 19% when given a single dose of metronidazole versus 11% when patients completed a 7-day course of metronidazole. If left untreated, trichomoniasis may remain subclinical or resolve with the host immunity. Pregnant women must be treated, otherwise it can result in adverse outcome like premature rupture of membranes, pre-prom, or low birth weight babies. The drug of choice is metronidazole. Women should stop breastfeeding during treatment. The past, present, and future in the diagnosis of a neglected sexually transmitted infection, trichomoniasis. This is a paper which is being published at the Complutense University of Madrid. Abstract says more than 1 million curably transmitted sexually transmitted infections occur every day. Trichomonas vaginalis is one of the main infections responsible for these epidemiological data. However, the diagnosis of this protozoan is still mainly based on the microscopic and culture identification. The commercialization of immunological tests and the development of molecular techniques have improved the sensitivity of classical methods. Nevertheless, the fact that trichomoniasis is a neglected parasitic infection hinders the development of novel techniques and their implementation in routine diagnosis. This review article shows the different methods developed to identify Trichomonas vaginalis in population and the difficulties in diagnosing male and asymptomatic patients. The importance of including this parasite in routine gynecological screening, especially in pregnant women, and the importance of considering Trichomonas vaginalis as an indicator of high risk sexual behavior are also discussed in this paper. As per this paper, the culture, liquid or broth culture of a clinical specimen, cervico-vaginal, urethral or urinary sediment, for microscopic observation has been considered the gold standard technique for the diagnosis of trichomoniasis due to its sensitivity, simplicity, and the relatively low inoculum requirement, 300 trichomonads per mil, as in as little as a drop of the secretion would be suffice enough. Several media have been described for Trichomonas vaginalis culture: Kupferberg, STS, Hirsch, Tricocell, modified diamond, Lash serum, or the most recent called in-pouch TV. However, the most common are diamond, TYM, modified diamond, or Roiron. Diamond's medium requires refrigeration at 4 degrees C for storage, but should be at room temperature before specimen inoculation. Samples should be inoculated immediately to the culture medium at least 1 hour after collection and incubated at 37 degrees C in an anaerobic condition, which is 5% carbon dioxide provided. This should be followed by daily examination for 3 to 7 days until viable trichomonads are observed. Longer incubation times are often required in male specimens to allow the growth for a detectable number of organisms. Diagnosis and management of Trichomonas vaginalis. It's a journal article, summary of evidence reviewed for the 2021 Centers for Disease Control and Prevention Sexually Transmitted Infections Treatment Guidelines. The abstract says that Trichomonas vaginalis is likely the most prevalent non-viral sexually transmitted infection, affecting an estimated 3.7 million women and men in the United States. Health disparities are prominent in the epidemiology of trichomoniasis, as African Americans are more than 4 times more likely to be infected than persons of the other races. Newly available diagnostic methods, including point-of-care assays and multiple nucleic acid amplification tests (NATs), can be performed on a variety of genital specimens in women and men. The methods were specific key questions and table of evidence assembled by our expert review committee related to updates on the epidemiology, diagnosis, and management of trichomoniasis for the 2021 CDC STI treatment guidelines were used To answer these questions, a PubMed, National Library of Medicine and National Institute of Health search was conducted of all English language human subject research published on Trichomonias vaginalis between 1st January 2023 and 1 December 2019. The search terms were Trichomonas, and all of these were searched for the relevant STI references. Now it's time for the MCQ session. MCQ number 1 states a 32 years old woman presents with frothy yellow-green vaginal discharge and pruritus. On pelvic examination, her cervix shows erythema and punctate hemorrhages. What is the most likely mechanism causing these findings? Number 1, toxic mediated damage to epithelial cells, immune complex deposition in the cervical epithelium, direct adhesion and mechanical disruption by protozoa, autoimmune response leading to epithelial cell apoptosis, chemical disintegration of the mucosa. Any wise guesses around? Now the correct answer is C, direct adhesion and mechanical disruption by the protozoa, that is Trichomonas. MCQ number 2. A 45-year-old male presents with dysuria and mild urethral discharge. He denies any significant symptoms but reports unprotected intercourse with the new partner. His wet mount preparation is negative for bacteria, which diagnostic test should be prioritized for further investigation. Gram staining of discharge, polymerase chain reaction for Trichomonas vaginalis, urine dipstick analysis, serologic testing for syphilis, or fluorescent antibody test. What could be the answer?
A.
No, it's B, polymerase chain reaction for Trichomonas vaginalis. MCQ number 3, trichomoniasis is associated with co-infections due to similar risk factors. Which co-infection should always be tested for, particularly in patients presenting with ulcerative genital disease? Number 1, chlamydia trachomatis, Neisseria gonorrhoeae, human immunodeficiency virus or HIV, herpes simplex virus, or Ticera trichoris. It's a co-infection which is in all of the cases of STIs to be co-ruled. It's HIV. So option C is correct. MCQ number 4, a 28-year-old pregnant woman tests positive for trichomoniasis during her first prenatal visit. What is the primary reason for initiating treatment in this patient? Number 1, to prevent vertical transmission to the fetus, to avoid neonatal respiratory infections, to reduce the risk of preterm labor, to eliminate maternal systemic infections, or to reduce the risk of thromboembolism. Yeah, the answer is C, to reduce the risk of preterm labor, as we have discussed, one of the complications. MCQ number 5, what is the pathophysiological basis for the association between trichomoniasis and an increased risk of pelvic inflammatory disease? Direct extension of Trichomonas vaginalis into the upper genital tract, disruption of the vaginal microbiome and secondary bacterial infections, toxin production that causes fallopian tube scarring, systemic dissemination of protozoa into reproductive organs, superimposed fungal infections. Now the answer is B, disruption of the vaginal microbiome and secondary bacterial infections. Of course, if there would be living symbiotic relationships disrupted, there would be secondary bacterial infections encountered mostly. MCQ number 6, a 50-year-old post-menopausal woman presents with recurrent trichomoniasis despite standard treatment. Which factor is most likely contributing to her condition? Inadequate partner treatment, hormonal changes leading to reduced vaginal acidity, emergence of direct drug-resistant Trichomonas vaginalis strains, reinfection due to external environmental sources, or emergence of multi-drug resistant strains.
Yeah, the answer could have been B. Hormonal changes leading to reduced vaginal acidity. Yeah, it is. MCQ number 7. A 22-year-old female with trichomoniasis reports hypersensitivity to metronidazole. What is the alternative treatment option and what precautions should be considered? Tinidazole, monitor for similar allergic reactions. Clindamycin, ensure its coverage against protozoal infections. Doxycycline, avoid use in pregnancy. Ciprofloxacin, avoid alcohol during treatment or antifungal medications. She has developed sensitivity to azole compounds, so she must be screened and monitored for tinidazole and for the similar allergic reactions. MCQ number 8. In a community-based study, trichomoniasis prevalence is found to be significantly higher among certain populations. Which social determinant of health is most closely related or associated with higher rates of trichomoniasis? Number A is higher socioeconomic status, limited access to healthcare and STI screening, regular use of barrier contraception, high educational attainment, or high fertility rates in the community. It's a community-based survey in which the social determinants are to be closely related, so it's a limited access to healthcare and STI screening. MCQ number 9. A clinician performs a wet mount microscopy for a patient suspected of trichomoniasis but finds no motile organisms. Which additional steps should be taken to confirm the diagnosis? Repeat wet mount microscopy with a fresh sample. Perform a high sensitivity NAT or PCR test. Initiate empiric treatment without further tests. Conduct a culture on Diamond's media or Fisher's antibody reaction. Anyways, Cassie says we have discussed earlier that NAT is the gold standard treatment, or PCR tests are simultaneously on the Diamond's culture. So, wet mount on a high sensitivity NAT or PCR test is the correct option B. MCQ number 10. Why is alcohol consumption contraindicated during and after metronidazole or tinidazole treatment for trichomoniasis? There would be risk of gastrointestinal ulceration, potential for disulfiram-like reaction, reduced efficacy of medication, increased likelihood of protozoal resistance, increased risk of thromboembolism. As in, when a patient is going through the treatment like twice a day for 7 days or 2 days, during and after metronidazole or tinidazole treatment, it is prohibited to use alcohol because it can initiate a disulfiram like reaction which could lead in the liver failure and other reactions in the body. So this is the key for the MCQs, and at the end I would like to thank you all, and I would have updated the YouTube link which is available with us, but unfortunately I am not able to upload the videos yet. So but I would like to to all of the participants with us to please like and subscribe our channel for the educational videos which we have uploaded there.